Hey everybody. You can see yesterday that our fours were both good enough to get defended perfectly, but also good enough to win, despite making small defensive errors both times. The ones versus twos are the hardest things to do, I think. Um, but we did manage to pull it out in spite of Steve Reich being there, and in spite of missing Theranos. So, pretty happy with that. You can see in the private rundle we are 1 point ahead of Troy Meyer and just kind of trying to hold on. He's having an amazing season on the answers, so we'll see how long that lasts. Um, as far as our main rundle here in AC board, we've got just tons of bunching here. I've got I'm having a really good season answer wise, pretty good season defense wise, but just cannot get much traction here, much clearance. No, nothing like a big lead. So um, the threat of like having a 9-6 tie and still moving into second place is always there, which is not the best feeling. Anyway, um, we're off to match day 13, so let's have a look. Okay, first, Louise and Saccone are the middle and last names of what anonymous superstar? Okay, that's Madonna. I remember a sketch with Madonna and Courtney Love on SNL where she calls her Madonna Louise Saccone. But anyway, yeah, definitely Madonna. I'm going to go ahead and zero that for Russ, who certainly knows that. It's sort of yeah, that knowing Madonna's full name is definitely kind of a bar trivia chestnut, and I would call Russ a bar trivia chestnut master. So that's pretty easy. Question two. West Germany and Argentina did it consecutively in 1974 and 1978, but since then only one country has won the FIFA Men's World Cup while also serving as the tournament's host. Name that country. Okay, well, I happen to know this is France 98. Yeah, they certainly beat Brazil there at the Stade de France in '98. Very famous game with Zidane scoring 2 goals. I think it was 2 goals. Um, and it was also the game where Ronaldo wasn't going to play and then did play, and people were already had a seizure, and nobody really knows the whole story. So, anyway, yeah, definitely France here. Yeah, we're going to have to look at people's soccer knowledge specifically, although I feel fairly confident Russ knows his World Cups. So, anyway, question three. What iconic fictional character debuted to the public in Kid Auto Races at Venice, appeared in numerous other films including Maple's Strange Predicament, The Kid, and City Lights, and was retired in modern times? Okay, well, this is Charlie Chaplin's Little Tramp. Um, I wrote a question like, after this film, Chaplin retired the Little Tramp. It was a description of modern times. One of the facts about it was the last Little Tramp film. I believe that you literally sort of see the character be retired in the film in some way, but I can't remember exactly how that works. Anyway, question four: Eppur si muove, and yet it does move. Uh, these words were allegedly uttered by what convicted heretic after an appearance before the Inquisition in 1633. Okay, well, that's Galileo. I remember. I believe this is that line features in the Bertolt Brecht play about Galileo, which I read in school. But yeah, this is just kind of a famous, and yet it does move. Kind of his defiant statement that no, I'm telling y'all. Question five. Oh, huh. The agreement signed in February 1992 by the 12 member nations of the European Community to create the European Union. Wow, we had a European Union question literally yesterday in which it was disguised. It's kind of a funny. It's not a repeat at all, but it's just a funny fact that is named after the ancient city in which it was signed. What is that city? Okay, well that's Maastricht. Maastricht Treaty, 1992, EU founding. Yeah. Question six. What term referencing price as well as quality was most used for any number of popular and sensational serial literary works produced in the middle of Britain's Victorian era and primarily marketed toward young males of the working class? Well, I'm sure this is not a term I would have known prior to. I've never seen the show Penny Dreadful, but that fact has come up a lot more. Like people just going, "Oh, did you know that's what a Penny Dreadful was?" Or seeing it on Facebook or whatever. Certainly has increased since the recent show came out. So what are we going to do here? Okay. Got to give Russ a 1 on film, especially this is like, I think relatively easy if you know any old film. I mean, there's a chance, I don't love putting a 2 on Galileo here, but I feel like the others are just so definitely right. Penny Dreadful for a 2. Russ is a television genius as well, which kind of puts me in a difficult position because, like, this is not a TV question, but it's a TV question on some level. And Maastricht for the 3. I think that's probably the actual hardest question of the day. I don't think it's that hard either, but I do think it's probably number 1 most difficult. So let's see what our opponents are like. Okay. We have Bananas C, Game Sport 583. Let's go see if we can find out some soccer info on our opponent. Okay, he did not know Bundesliga. Pretty relevant. He did not know Croatia. All right, so he's missed the last 2 soccer questions. Is that a 3? It's a 3. Then a 2 for Maastricht. I think people will not necessarily think of France as a World Cup winner if they are not a soccer person, especially as it's 18 years ago now. Croatia is certainly harder than this, but I think. But and again, you have to remember that they specifically won it in their country. So their film knowledge is 69%. I feel like Little Tramp can get a 1. Pop music 577. Man, Madonna though. Okay. Well, I'm not willing to give it above a 1. I will give it a 1. I'll give Galileo a 0. He is the default guess as well as being correct. So, and Penny Dreadful for a 2. I think Penny Dreadful and Maastricht are the hardest 2 questions overall. Maybe. So, France may play harder. What I mean is kind of within field knowledge. I think the other 2 are harder. But some people just don't know soccer at all, so they wouldn't know that, and that's fine. That's our defense. It's eminently, I'm glad we didn't get any of the arts stuff in our game against Bananos, purely for selfish reasons. So that helped us certainly a lot. But anyway, looking that, yeah, absolutely confident today. After yesterday, this feels nice to be 100% sure on basically everything. So, yeah, sweet. 6 out of 6. We will see how this goes tomorrow. Your keeper of the day is that Charlie Chaplin character is called the Little Tramp. I'm not 100% sure how much, how many people know that. If you don't, it's definitely something to know. The Tramp or the Little Tramp. All right. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.